Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Dennis. So today's video is going to be installing the Ryzen 5 3600X into the Phantom 4 gaming motherboard. Alright, so we're just going to show you how to install it, put the CPU cooler on it, we'll do some temps, and that'll be it. So stay tuned. Okay, so before we install our CPU into the motherboard, we're going to have a quick look at everything that's inside the box. So of course we have our package. I've already cut this open here. Now this is an AMD Ryzen 5 3600X 6-core 12-thread processor, and it operates at 4.4 gigahertz max boost and 3.8 base. And it does require a discrete graphics card. Alright, so we're just going to get this around and let's see what's inside here. So I'll take this off. Just has your little instructions for how to do everything. I don't need that. And tucked in the side, it's kind of different. I've never seen it like that before. It's kind of loose, but anyway, there's our processor itself. Okay, and we'll get to that in a minute. All right. So the big bulk of the box is the CPU cooler itself. So we're just going to get that out. And that is all that's in it. Just the other part of the plastic. The other part of the plastic that should have been on here, but for some reason it wasn't. Okay, so we're just going to open this up and see what cooler comes with this. So let's just get it out. Now, it has plastic on the inside, so you have to be careful and make sure that you put this down, because this has pre-applied thermal paste. Yes, pre-applied thermal paste, and you don't want to get your fingers into it or any such thing like that. So take this plastic off, put it back over there. It's meant to protect it, and you want to make sure it stays that way. So just in case you're wondering, it's the AMD Wraith. Okay, just the normal stock cooler comes with it. It's going to screw on. It's got 4 little points here that it's going to screw on to your motherboard. I'll show you that in a minute. And of course the plastic does not make contact with the thermal paste, because if it did, then it would ruin it and you'd have to use your own. So this does not light up. Okay, neither this does. It just has your simple 4-pin for your CPU cooler that plugs into your motherboard. So we're going to go ahead, get the motherboard ready, and we're going to install it. So one more thing I wanted to mention before I get started is that this comes with a little pamphlet here. I'm just going to make sure you can see that. But I'm going to read it off to you, so you can pause it and read it if you want. But basically what it is. So basically it's telling you that this is an AMD Ryzen Desktop 3000 series desktop processor, compatible with all 500 series motherboards out of the box, and it's compatible with 400 series motherboards with a compatible BIOS update has been installed. So a lot of motherboards, it's going to be compatible, but you want to go in and check to make sure that your motherboard is compatible before you go ahead and buy it and then find out it doesn't work. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If you go to AMD's website, they'll tell you which motherboards work, which ones don't, and then you'll be good to go. Okay, so the first thing you got to do is put your CPU into the CPU socket, which is an AM4 socket, which is right here. Now, one of the things I wanted to point out is it's kind of hard to see, but you can notice, see that little teeny triangle? Well, it's kind of hard to see, but the way I'm holding it is basically the way it's going to go in. But how do you know where that triangle lines up? Well, I'm going to show you. So when we go back on here, you see this little, looks like a triangle here. It's kind of like a line. That represents the triangle, so that you know when you put your CPU in, that they line up, and that's the way it's going to go. Make sure when you're handling your CPU, hold it by the edges. Don't touch the surface, because your oils and stuff will affect it. So first thing you want to do is release the handle here. So you're just going to push down and let it come up. All right. Be careful, because on the back you've got very sensitive pins and you don't want to touch them. And you just want to set this inside. Okay, so I'm going to zoom back out. And once you've lined it up, it will just set right inside. Okay, see how it just plops on down? Then you're just going to put your handle back down. There's a little tab here, so make sure when you put it down, it's going to be a little pressure. And make sure it goes underneath that tab. That is how we install the CPU itself. Now, of course, comes the CPU cooler that's included. So the next step is you're going to have to remove these brackets. These are meant for a different type of CPU cooler. So for this, we're not going to need it, so we are going to have to remove it. So you're just going to need a Phillips screwdriver and just take these off. So they're on there kind of snug, so just kind of hold your motherboard just to keep it from moving a little bit, and then just take it off. Okay, it comes off pretty quick, pretty easy. Same thing with this one. Okay, once you've got it off, okay, that one needs a little bit more. And, oh my goodness. And it's going to come off. Now, one thing I want to point out is you've got these little, it's a back plate that this CPU cooler is going to screw into. So you're going to want to see those. Now, if this, when you take this off, if it plops down, just remember to push it back up when you're securing your cooler to it. All right, so we're just going to remove the other one. And same with this one. And that's it. Now we're ready to put our CPU cooler on. One of the things I want to point out that I've done wrong myself a couple times. When you look at your CPU cooler, okay, be careful again not to touch the thermal paste, because it's easy to drop it or let go of it. So I'm just going to zoom back out. Okay, see this little logo? Make sure that that pushes the opposite direction of your memory. Okay, because if you don't, it's going to kind of make it a little bit harder to put your cooler in. So we're going to set this here over the top where those 4 holes are. So now we're just going to tighten these 4 screws. There we go. All right, so just partially tighten it so that you can make contact. Do it diagonally so you can make sure you get in there good. Okay. And then just do the other 4 corners. Yeah, don't worry about that sound, that's normal. And then you have one more over here. Now I'm not tightening them all the way just yet. We just want to make sure, I will to this one. We have to make sure it's making contact. Once we do, we tighten them all up, and then we just have to plug in our CPU cooler. Okay, so I just turned it a little bit so you can see down here that it's making contact. Once it's done, it just simply won't turn anymore. So there you can go, you can tighten the rest of them down. Okay, it just stops. We're going to turn it. You can see the other ones here. Same thing. Just make sure. And so I didn't have to turn it very much. And same with this one. Okay, there we go. And that's it. Now we just have to take this, plug it into where it says CPU cooler, and we're good to go. Sorry, not CPU cooler, CPU fan, which is this one right here. Now it's 4-pin, you've got a little divot here. Make sure you turn it so that when you push it on, it just pushes down. Just like that. And then we can put a little twist tie on this afterward. tie it off, and that'll be nice and clean. And that is pretty much all there is to installing your CPU cooler and your CPU. So you see how that's the opposite direction? I've made a mistake in the past and put it over here, and it interferes your memory. So let me just turn this again to show you. So you can see how much clearance you have there now. Lots of clearance. And because I have high memory, well, I wanted to make sure nothing was going to interfere with it. So there we go. So the only thing left is to do the temps. Okay, so I've zoomed in here. I wanted to show you all the different specs. Everything is here, the core counts, all that information. You can just pause and have a look at it. The biggest one here is it's not thermal throttling or anything like that. And our CPU right now is saying it's at 40 degrees. Or sorry, 53.8 degrees. So that's not too bad. So I think that shows you everything you're going to need to know. Your core counts are over here. Okay, right here it's showing you where it's all running at. Okay, and all your specs, CPU base, all that. Okay, everything is here showing you what everything's running at. And of course, you can scroll up and you can see all kinds of more information. I'll go up to the top and give you a quick look. And if you're really interested, you can just pause it and have a quick look. And of course, I'm just using HW info to show you all the different temperatures, all that kind of good stuff. All right, everybody, so hope you liked that video. If you liked it, hit that like. If you don't, you know what to do. Hit that bell for future notifications. And if you're new here, think about subscribing. If you have any questions, let me know. If I missed anything, I apologize. Thermal paste is pre-applied, just so you know. Mention it for a second time because everybody asked. I'll put it in the description even, just so you know. But it's a good system. It's going to be amazing, actually. I ran the temps. Temps were pretty good, like 58, I think it was. So that's not too bad. I've certainly seen much higher on some of the other ones. Anyhow, hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.